Good morning, YouTube land. So my last video was discussing that I got the Genesis for my Veloster so that I can do a rear wheel drive swap on the Veloster. But I've had some interesting things happen. Nothing's going to change with that project. Both of my kids, who are twins, just turned 15. My son is going to get my Audi, the twin turbo V6, and my daughter, I bought her a Volkswagen Beetle. Now I thought the Volkswagen Beetle was going to be a quick, easy fix. I wasn't aware if it was going to be a quick, easy fix, but based off what the owner of the car told me, I thought it would be. I've been doing a little bit of diagnosing on this thing, and I was really hoping I wasn't going to have to do any videos regarding this car, but unfortunately I'm going to have to. So I'm going to flip the camera around, show you the car that I bought for my daughter, and discuss the few things that I need to correct on this thing. And I'll wind up doing a couple videos on this car while I'm fixing it for her. So this is the Beetle that I bought my daughter. It's a 2003 Beetle turbo convertible. It had a dead battery when I bought it, so I couldn't even crank it when I bought it. But put a battery in it, it cranks, sounds like it wants to run, even tries to run occasionally, but it sounds like absolute dog shit when it runs. First thing I noticed was this fuse right here was blown. I had all kinds of brake alarms and EPS and all kinds of shit. Replaced that, and I got rid of the brake alarms, and it cranked up a little quicker, wanted to start a little bit. Read a code that said number 2 cylinder misfire, so I came in here and checked number 2, and this connector was not pushed all the way on to the ignition coil. Clipped that in, tried to start the car up, and it still would try and start up, but wouldn't really run right. So I started checking things, checking spark. I pulled all the plugs out and the coil packs out, hooked them back up and laid them on the intake and made sure that all the spark plugs were sparking. All those are sparking. Car's been sitting for 5 years. So what I did was I disconnected the fuel line right here and pumped it into that bucket right there and got all the old gas out of here and put fresh gas in it. And it would crank up, and it ran a little bit better, but it still was running like crap. So I started doing compression tests. I've got very good compression on 2, 3, and 4. Number 1, I have no compression. So I'm gonna have to pull the freaking motor and see if it's either a blown head gasket, bad piston, or bad valves. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to pull the fucking motor on this car, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be pulling the motor and transmission out of this car to repair number 1 cylinder. Other issues that I have with the car, which I knew when I bought it. I have to replace this rear fender and the rear bumper because of this right here. I was told that the convertible top worked, but like I said, I couldn't put a battery on this thing, so I couldn't power it up. When you try to lower the top, it does not lower down. I need to replace the door panel skins on all of them. They tried to do some bullshit pink wrap on it, I don't know, but it's a manual transmission, 1.8 liter turbo. The top does not work. It's giving me alarms for the flaps in the back, and it's giving me an alarm for the switch on the front. So I'm gonna have to repair that, as well as the door does not stay open. You can see the door just wants to fall shut. Well, I discovered that the door check is broken. The door check is still good, but the piece inside of here is broken that holds the door check. I have not checked the passenger side door, but apparently it's a very common issue. And Volkswagen only recommends replacing the entire door, which I'm not going to do. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way to fix this. The good thing is I have a good door to look at to figure out how to fix it. So I'm gonna try and repair that. And And like I said, I'm gonna pull the engine, get number 1 cylinder where it's got compression, and go from there. So the first video that you see regarding this car is going to be repairing the engine, because I'm not going to do anything else to the car if I can't get the engine fixed. I really was not wanting to have to rebuild or replace the engine. I got a really fire ass price on this car, so I don't want to spend a shit ton of money trying to fix it, but I got to do what I got to do to get this thing running for my daughter. So like I said, first video on that car is going to be showing how to pull the motor, and then next video will be tearing the motor down and finding out what's wrong with it. Hopefully this will help out people in the Beetle community, but you should know already that I'm a pretty big Volkswagen Audi group person. I really thoroughly enjoy these cars. I ran the Rostec software on that one, and it says that I have an ABS controller defective module. The flaps for the convertible top are not working, and then I cleared all the codes for the motor because I didn't know what was valid and what wasn't. And after cranking it, got a crankshaft position sensor malfunction, and also got a camshaft position sensor malfunction. So the timing may have jumped on this thing and caused it to bend the number 1 valves, which is what I'm thinking actually happened. But I'm going to pop the timing cover apart, inspect the timing, and make sure that the engine is still in time. And if the engine's in time, then I'm going to pull the motor. If it's not in time, I'm going to try and reset the timing and then check compression again. Chances are I'm still going to have to remove the motor to fix whatever's causing the no compression issue, but I need to make sure the damn thing's in time first, because it should run on 3 cylinders. It should run like shit, but it should run on 3 cylinders. So I'm gonna see what's going on with that, and we'll see where that takes us. All right, guys, that heat yesterday took it out of me, and I haven't really done a whole lot of work to the Volkswagen today. I'm gonna start pulling the fenders and the bumper and getting this thing ready to pull the motor, and I'm just gonna stop when I get the front end off of it, and then the next video will be me removing the engine. So let's see how to take this front end off. So the first thing you need to do in order to take the front end off is take the headlights out. There's a little lever right here. You just push that lever up. Sometimes they don't want to move, but you press that lever up until you get it to the top, and then the headlight will push out. So once you flip that lever up, the whole headlight comes out. And what that lever does is it moves this plate right here. So I'm going to move the levers to show you. Well, I thought I was going to move the lever. It feels like it's stuck. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to clean the track out while I'm working on this car. Looks like it's had some mice or something living up in here, but I'm gonna clean that out while I've got it apart. So there we go. But anyway, this headlight's the same way. It's a little bit harder to get to because it's behind the battery box. So it's right here. You can get your hand on it, and you can see it pushes the headlight out, and then the headlight just slides right out. Once you get the headlight slid out, I'm trying to do this with one hand, then you just disconnect the electrical connector. So push in, pull back on the clip, and then pull back. The connector comes right out, and there's your headlight. So both headlights are out. Now I'm gonna work on taking the fenders and the bumper off. All right, so the first thing I did was removed all these bolts down the top of the fender, across the top of the bumper, and across the top of this fender. So now I need to remove the fender liner that's up inside of here. It's just held in with Phillips head screws. So there's one right there, one up here, one down there, one back there. So just remove all the Phillips head screws and take the fender liner out, and then there's going to be bolts back behind here. All right, so once you get the fender liners out, they're held in with like fucking 30 screws, T25 little sheet metal screws. You got them all over the wheel well. They're all along the entire edge. There's 3 or 4 in the back here, 3 or 4 in the back over here. Once you get all those out, then you can get to the rest of the bolts for the front end. So you've got a bolt down here on the bottom. Should have 2. This one's missing 1. And then you should have a bolt up here on the side. And then there should be some bolts up here in the front. But I'm gonna check this out, and I'll pick back up when I get it all loosened up. So there's 10mm bolts that you have to take out. You can see them right there, right there, right there, right there, and right there. And then there is another bolt right here, but it's not in the car. Right there, you can see where it's missing, right there. So take all those out, and then the front end should come. All right, so there's the whole front end, or the whole front clip removed. So you got to remove all those. They're T25 screw heads all around the fender well. Then you have 10mm nuts here, 10 here, a bolt here, bolt here, bolt here. That's a T30. Then you have a T30 coming in through the headlight bezel going into the bottom of the fender. And then you have 2 T30s down here on the bottom. Once you take all that out, then the whole front end just peels off. And then you have to disconnect your fog light connectors and your turn signal connectors, and then the ambient air temperature sensor. So that's the ambient air temperature sensor, turn signal connector, fog light connector. So now that the whole front end's off, I'm gonna start removing the bumper support and the core support. And then I'll pull the battery, pull the air intake, and get this thing ready to start pulling the motor. Now, because it's been so hot here in Georgia yesterday and today, yesterday the heat just took it out of me. So I didn't really get out here early this morning to work on this Beetle. And in all honesty, it's hot as shit right now, and I really don't want to keep working on this Beetle because I'm so hot. So I'm probably going to stop this video where it is. Next video will be showing how to remove the front bumper, the core support, and pull the engine completely out of the car. So the next video will be with the engine and transmission together out of the car. And then after that video, it'll be diagnosing why I have no compression on cylinder 1. So like always, if you like this video, if it helped you out in any way, please like, comment, share, subscribe, let your friends see what I'm doing, and I'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully I'll be making another video for the 1UZ here within the next 30 minutes to an hour. We'll be able to actually work inside the car. It'll be a little bit cooler than being up here in the direct sun, but we'll see how it goes. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll check you in the next video.